Welcome back to Sad Clown Outdoors. We continue our project on this episode with installing our winch controller, running our wires. I'm going to put an auxiliary battery and box in the back and wire up this winch. Let's see what we can do. So first things first, we have our winch controller that needs to be mounted to our bracket. Then I'm going to extend the lines to the rear of the four-wheeler. Then I'm going to set up a box back there that I got from Harbor Freight, just to keep weather off of it, to carry the auxiliary battery, which will power any sort of ancillary stuff like the winch or spray trailers or anything else you might have. So, time to get started. Step one are Ace hardware bolts. Now I drilled this winch controller's bolt holes out to a 1/4 inch to match the drill bit I'm using on the rest of all this hardware. As long as I have enough meat around the bolt, it'll spread that pressure evenly. So 1/4 inch, I still had room. Now, we take our extension 7/16, which is the size of the bolt head, our little wrench, and we run things down if we can. I think we're going to have to do this the old school way of hand cranking it, because there's just no room. Get a socket on there. Just going to have to do it the old way. Let's get a 7/16 inch up. Now these don't have to be extremely tight, just snug. Don't want to break the plastic. Now our winch controller is mounted. And yes, I have many different hats because I'll sunburn. This one happens to be from the Artist Blacksmith Association here in New Mexico. If you're into blacksmithing like I am, check them out. Two leads for that. Okay, our winch is mounted. I want to put a disconnection here to where I can unplug the winch and take it with me and I don't have to unscrew it every time. So we'll get to that. For now, let's mount this box. Alright, we have our box. Now, I don't want the box, specifically because it's plastic, to be supported by the two screws. So I'm not going to mount it externally. I'm going to mount it internally on the rack. Then it's just holding it there so it doesn't go flying off. So, step one, I actually have the plate, which is the excess scrap from the prior project on the front end. And I've already drilled 2 3/8 inch holes, no particular spacing, just center mass, so that I can mount it on the back side here and give it some support. On the inside, I'll use fender washers. That'll spread the pressure from the bolts and it won't rip through. A little long for the purpose, but they should do the job. Alright, there's a bar here, so I want to straddle that bar, and that will keep this from caving in like this or going crazy on me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this drill bit, push it through, and I'm going to mark the box with the first hole. Now I'll take my first bolt and put it through that first hole. Put my plate on. And we'll snug that down a little bit. Just work it all the way down. Now I have the washer on the inside and this plate on the outside. Now you keep tensioning that up until it'll hold itself in place. A couple more turns here. There we go. Now I can go ahead and cinch this one up as far as I want to. Doesn't have to be overly tight. We are working with plastic. See, now that's nicely mounted in there. I can now drill out the other hole without as much difficulty. Line it up nicely, gently through. Done. Fender bolt. Hey, fender. Bolt goes right through. Now, where did I put the other one? Like the other nut fell underneath the four-wheeler. Had to go find it. Alright. Now you can cut these off. I'm not going to bother. But let's tighten it up. Now I could have gotten the drill attachment, but since I have these available, it goes pretty quickly when you have arm room. Just spin it around like this. Not a big deal. Now I got a hard mounted battery box. Now this is the circuit breaker for the winch. So I'm going to slide it down in this box as well. And eventually I'm going to put a secondary battery tail. This one is to charge the primary battery, but I'll have one to charge the secondary battery and to power any trailer I may have that requires power. For now though, here's our battery. Take the battery caps off. Now they're ready for use. And here are the threaded screws that will mount these ringlets with. Called ring terminals. If you ever need one, it just crimps right on there. Now I'm going to drill a hole in the side of the box. I'll start it with this size, but it'll need to be bigger. And then I'm just going to run my wires through it. This is a 3/4 inch bit. Huge. Hard to find, especially in town. You can order online though. Let's see if it fits in the drill. Spin the drill, opens all the way up. A little more. Barely fits, but it fits. So let's make this side hole just a little bit bigger. Done. Alright. Now we're going to feed these wires through, but now I have the proper hole size to just get anything and everything I need to through that hole. Alright. Circuit breaker down in there. Now I have my leads for later. I'll go ahead and stick them in here. Permanently mounted battery. Now, we need to extend these leads because they're not long enough. Now I went for 10 gauge, which is what this wire is, and all they had was red. So I'm going to have 2 leads. I'm going to have to keep track of which one is positive and which one is negative, because it should be black and red. Take all this stuff. Alright, we're going to do the negative one first. So when you do this, you should be working your way all the way around without cutting all the way through. You're just trying to get through the plastic part. And then loosely holding it, you just pull it off. Then you expose the wire beneath, but you have the sheath off. I've already done that for the other side. These are heat shrink crimpers. You smash the middle of it once the 2 wires are in there and it'll hold them together. But I'm going to do an extra heat shrink just to water seal it. Not that it's going to be a big deal ever, but hey, it'll work. Maybe. We'll find out. Maybe it won't. Should work by itself though. I'm going to twist the end of it to make it a little more narrow so this goes in nicely. Okay. Now we'll do the other side. It's a little tougher material, but hopefully we can get it to work. Got both wires in there. Take the back side of these and put this little divot right on top on this side. Then we're going to crimp down. Now, both wires are snugly in there. Now, we need to take both wires from out of the back of the hole we made in the box. We're going to feed them down through here. Little handle here. We're going to feed them down through here, up over the engine bay, up over the carburetor, and in through here to the front end of the winch where we'll connect them here. Okay, now we've routed from the battery. We'll zip tie them here, down through the side of the wheel well, into the airbox chassis, through the frame, up underneath the gas tank, above the suspension, You can see that it's above the suspension. It comes back down. We'll run it down this channel with zip ties nicely, and we'll connect it up to our winch controller. Now we've run them down. I've run zip ties. You can use a different cable management system if you want to, but zip ties will do just fine. I just recommend when it comes to the zip tie ends, unless you have that specific tool, these zip ties get really sharp if they're not cut off evenly. So I put them on the inside where I'll never just reach in and get cut. So I've taken the positive and I've already crimped it to the control box. Now I have to do the negative. I kept them separate and wove them one at a time so that I knew which one was which. Okay, now we've attached the crimps on each one, and we've wired up negative to negative, positive to positive, and as you can see, they're both marked. Now, we've taken the wires in the battery box, and we've attached the positive to the positive, negative to the negative. Now we need to tighten them down. This will make sure we have good continuity. Sorry for the moving camera. Now we'll put the battery into the battery box, and I will brace this with cardboard or some other filler. That will make easy work of this. There we go. Get some good cable management in here. So I've got that, and I've got that fed in. This I'm probably going to loosen up real quick. Now that we're seeing how that works, I don't want it to be kinked on the edge here, so just bring it into the box a little bit. Okay, now we've run our wires, we've hooked it all up, and we have a spare battery case that is pretty much weatherproof. And once I get the other wires run, I may silicone that in, but it's really as waterproof as it needs to be. We'll zip tie it up later. Let's see. All right, let's see here. See if we can get it to function in its current state. Outstanding. So, there you have it. We've installed a winch, and we have a fully capable front end to do multiple things, not just a winch, and keep utilitarian purposes, or utility purposes at least, across future endeavors. So you'll probably see it in future videos, just being utilized for purposes. Thanks for tuning in to Sad Clown Outdoors, and we'll see you next time. Feel free to like and subscribe.